your turn. Carmine. Ruby Rose.
Wait, what am I thinking? No, I'll do it only for this one.
Let me face my fears. All right. The broadcast at the start.
Get ready.
Oh.
All right, what chapter was I on again?
You are on. I think you were on 3.
Chapter 3.
Oh wait, this is Trima. What? I thought. Oh, wait, I know why I was
Isn't this fun?
What's the matter? Let me face my fears.
Fun? Fun? Isn't this fun? Here it comes! Trying to run? Won't lose! Struggle! Won't lose! Devour! What's the matter? I'm right here! Struggle! Won't lose! Spin! Gotcha! Devour! Like that! Spin! Gotcha! Won't lose! Isn't this fun? Here it comes! Won't lose! Won't lose! Won't lose!
Oh.
What's the matter? I'm right here.
Alright, let's try your.
Alright. Chapter 3. It's too early in the story for this crap. Disclaimer. It just gets worse. This one is pretty short. Though quality.
Nice try.
You did what? Screamed Glinda. I kinda pretended to be evil to Thukul with them, Ozpin admitted. And how did that end? With them joining Diamond Dogs, he admitted sheepishly. And what did I tell you not to do? To not accept Triple Dog Dare. This is from Ocelot on Twitter. And what is it you did again? Damn it, you just don't understand me. You're not even my real mum. I hate you forever. Yeah, you go, Ozzy P, shouted Crow as he tuned his guitar. Hell yeah, Crow bro, or Quabro, exclaimed Ozpin to his best bro, Crow. And besides, Ozpin continued, Penny digged it. It was then that our hero opened his desk drawer, from which Penny, in Trump, handed him a sugar cube. He placed his hand efficiently on her head in a motion reminiscent of a man playing with his 4-week-old puppy. She then receded back into her new home while the Ozster placed the cube into his coffee. Fine, but how did you convince them of all this? Why did Gooseman say what he did? Why did whatever you said to them shake them like that, and who were those people you mentioned anyways? Because I said so. No. Well, little Miss Good Bitch, if you must know, it's called confabulation. When an individual is convinced of something and needs affirmation of such, they simply fabricate a false memory to serve their belief system. This can actually be involved in others under the proper circumstances. It's quite common actually, and all that is needed is the dead serious word of two trusted individuals of authority over the subject, the night atmosphere. Oh, and the right atmosphere. Where the duck did you learn this? Asked Glinda, slightly concerned. Well, Glinda, I believe we have already discussed this, said Ozpin with confidence. Wait, but no though, Glinda said before exploding. Wow, I've lost like 6 damn minions since the start of this shit fic. Actually, Penny Chipped, I think she's just a awesome crow to the education dungeons. Oh, and thank Pen Pen. Finally, exclaimed Crow with glee. Meanwhile, in the courtyard of Plot, dun dun dun, School Toast Chan crawled away from the pile of pigeon corpses and breadcrumbs. He clenched his teeth and wept. He wept for the fate of his of all generic anime school child brand toast and associated breakfast products. He wept for the life given to his brethren, only for them to be programmed for a life of servitude, ended only by death. He wept for his mind, which was spared, and he wept in the rage burning in the breast. His heart aflame, he slammed his fist into the ground, breaking the pavement. He made a silent prayer, a promise to whoever was behind his existence. Brando, Dio! He remembered, quacking with righteous fury. And as he was enveloped in an expansive light, a second toast emerged behind him, as furious as the first. I will end this damned cycle.
Can't escape from crossing fate. Fight.
Joseph looked on, pleased with his discovery, and slowly he mused on up towards the angry toast. Hello, I believe we share a target for ass kicking. Okay, I need a voice for sandwich. What's a voice for sandwich? Do you know the Dio? I know the Dio. Why do you know the Dio? I wish to end the Dio. As well, I wish to end the Dio. I could use your help, just as I believe you could use mine. So what do you say? Yes. So what is it you go by? I am the toasted scum. Oh, I'm sorry, Tostado. Of course you are. This is my life now. I choose this. Joseph rethought his life choices. Chapter 4.
Get ready. Get ready.
Okay, and I guess these are gonna just be divided into like 3 chapters a stream, because I don't know, I like having stuff be consistent. So I'll do this chapter and the next one then, I suppose.
Can't escape from
Chapter 4. There's no getting off Mr. Ozpin's wild ride. Oh, there's no disclaimer. Mr. Ozpin asked a confused Ruby, "Can we have our old team name back?" Ah, a relaxed Ozpin let out. The day stood silent. The gray shroud of clouds had formed over the school on this most melancholy day. The loss of 4 valuable assets still stung the professor's memory, but he too looked past this. His brief moment of weakness had cost him, but he still had the greatest treasure known to the guardians of man. A main character. Sure. Are you alright? No. No, he was not. It was as he overlooked the mass of his students flowing to and from class to simply get to their next that he truly felt the weight of his years. These were those whom had sworn to protect, yet found himself not giving an F. Well, what's wrong, Professor? Asked the leader of the team, which was called Ruby, originally. With Glinda in the education dungeons, I had to figure out how to make my own coffee, he said, distantly. Where are the education dungeons? Asked a timid Ruby. Right next to the pleasure catacombs. Who do you have there? Why are they there? I suppose you could say they have a bone to pick with me, punned the headmaster, content with himself. A slight smell of salt filled the room as wayward winds brought forth the scents of the western seas, above which on a bluff far to east Beacon was built. Why was our team name changed for like 3 days? For the lulz, my little old Roobster. For the lulz. So, go do stuff. Okay. It was as this heavily armed underage child with slightly delusional views on the nature of the world left his lonely office, the professor knew the world was effed to shit. Like, for real, we're down to using child soldiers to handle this stuff. I need more coffee. Ruby asked the White Walker in the what? Oh, okay, I read that wrong. Ruby asked the White Walker in the language only spoken by the dead. And so Yang asked of her little sister, so I guess we'll be leaving for the mission soon. Does it have anything to do with my dark, troubled past, littered with darkness and mystery? Oh my goodness. No. That's cool too. Admitted a defeated Blake. So all the shutless seem to be on fire, observed Ruby. Weiss sarcastically invoked the tongue of shattered ice. How are we going to make it? Asked a disparaged Ruby. We could just cut to the arrival, spoke Yang, giving 0 Fs about the fourth wall. Yang is Deadpool confirmed. It has been too long, sister, shouted Lang. Yang's evil not God damn it. Now I'm getting flashbacks to that stupid Wings Club Cross Angels friends. Fanfiction. Why do you do this to me? I blame you for this.
She appears rarely, don't worry.
I said arrived, not arrival. And then Lang was hit by a train. Woo! Go train.
See?
We made it, shouted Yang, cutting to the arrival. So, the Rancho Coralel's apartment complex. We made it, announced a serious Yang. Why is there a stereotypical fantasy setting in? We're in the middle of California, exclaimed logical Ruby. Because I said so. Oh, a confused Osmond somewhere in the distance. A sparsely occupied bar at best, this establishment was one such where all it took to start a bar fight was a measly failed roll on a speech check. Okay, so they're in D&D, not a like video game RPG. Okay, I understand. A slight chill found itself creeping up Ruby's spine. Surprisingly, it wasn't Weiss, but rather a force of preteen stupidity that hurt the very essence of the sensible team leader. Through just as quickly it vanished, though assuredly it had nothing to do with the multiple gunshots and the sound of 5 bodies hitting the floor. Nothing at all. Chapter 5. One direction goes one direction. and that direction is toward afterlife. Wait a minute. It said 5 bodies hit the floor. I thought there were only 4 members of One Direction.
We managed to win. I think.
Disclaimer. Shit tier OC shenanigans and magical randomness ensues.
Oh no! You're in the chapter! I know
Alright.
what this is!
Okay,
this is.
just for your interrupting outburst, I'm gonna read this whole chapter in the voice of Cool Cat.
No. No, I don't
Why?
want you to...
Hello, my dear friendness! Exclaimed a shit tier OC! Cool Cat!
Please select your character.
Who I shoehorned in here because writer's block and sleep deprivation. Well, you know, I, Cool Cat, your narrator, love all shit.
Katsumi.
Oh, is no one gonna comment on Cool Cat? Come on. I'm Cool Cat.
Ready.
Are you supposed to be... What?
There's no time.
Are you supposed to be Notice Red Emo? Asked a skeptical Blake. Yes! Exclaimed my original character. Do not steal! Stealing is wrong, and if someone steals from you, Cool Cat says you should yell at them to leave you alone right now! Whilst attempting and failing to slide the bodies away with his foot. This thing was a sight to behold. A man who appeared as a fellow student in terms of age resembled little else any of those poor girls had ever seen before. His pale and alabaster skin gave an odd reflective effect of his form, and the cotton candy blue shirt just like me, Cool Cat, which was emblazed with a heart containing the letters OTP, simply added to the confusion of his onlookers. In his pajama pants were covered in stills of every scene in the Titanic, shrunk and set to a pink background. Oh my god. Oh my god, that voice hurts.
Yeah,
That
stop.
voice hurts. No, I'm doing it. I'm doing it. This is your fault.
No. Dude, I don't want you to hurt your throat. Come on.
Oh, boo-hoo. You did this.
Can't escape from crossing.
Fine, I'll do DSP for the rest of the page.
There you go. Much better.
His boots defied any sense. They seemed segmented, one white, the next red. And on, ending in tips that curled and pointed upwards. Okay, the DSP voice is boring. The Cool Cat one's funnier. Okay. His hair a mess of nonsensical pink curls which reached his shoulders and seemed to give of a pink embers for whatever logic forsaken reason. Actually, they seemed to emit from every fiber of his being. None of this helped by the unnatural pits of abysmal darkness that served as his optical receptors, his pupils shaped as constantly rotating three-dimensional cubes glowed a sickly green. Spreading his arms wide, he shouted, "I am Captain Planet!" Okay, that's not what he actually said. "I am pleased to make your acquaintance!" In his right hand, a large barbershop pole was held shrouded in alphabet soap. Whirling with ethereal fabulousness, in his left hand he held an "as many as I need" barreled revolver in the shape of a candy cane. I am liking this person. This person's my favorite character. On his back, an effing plexiglass trident. I am known by the name of Barry Bamboozley, and I am I am known by the name of Barry Bamboozle, and I am here. Yes, yes, you are, unfortunately. Yang despaired. You need the information of the mission for great peace. Yes, asked a scared Ruby, who knew not what she saw. I shall show you. Follow me, he said, as he shot himself in the head and fell through the door to the outside. As the team rounded the corner, they found him sitting upon Polar Bear twirling a Spanish babe's mustache. The wind howled through the pine trees that were not there before their arrival, and early skint scent wafted through the air as they walked intermittently towards this odd through fabulous entity. Where this adventure would take them, they knew not, although surely this was for the sake of mankind, surely.
You need to read the next chapter.
But we're not at the end yet.
Oh, okay.
Meanwhile, away from any and all children kidnappings, the true main character, Joseph Joestar, was trying to sound supportive as he dismissed Tostaro's whining. I suppose you should get acquainted with each other. All right, you guys, get chummy, the Joestar sang. Punching the toast into a rundown motel room. Friendliness was attempted as Tostaro politely introduced himself to his new teammate by shouting about his hatred for Dio. A child donned in a yellow scarf and crimson motorcycle helmet seemed glad for a new comrade, yet burdened by the reminder that others to have suffered because of Dio. The bucket-helmeted knight, suplexing weights in the corner, stopped his confusing workout to greet his to get his odd breakfast. Much to the delight of a fur-lined pimp coat-wearing Kakashi, Sama-san-chan Senpai-kun. Oh, I didn't read that right. Kakashi-sama-san Senpai-chan-kun, who was always happy to see friendship facilitated by his fellows outside, leaning on a wooden post. Joseph took a bite out of his last jumbo-sized Nutter Butter. He had much to think on, yet little time before hitting the road. And he always preferred going in with a well-thought-out plan, although truth be told, he had a knack for formulating plots on the go, so perhaps he would think of something along the way. If only we had a vehicle, Joseph mused, as he knocked over a line of motorcycles and attracting the attention of a great multitude of angry bikers. The team found themselves riding the highway on their new vehicles. Okay, hold on. If the next chapter is short, I'll read the next chapter as well.
Alright.
Okay. The chapter's not really short, but I will read it. But I first have to take a short break to do some stuff. I'll be back in like 10 minutes or so.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. Yeah, it's not going to take me that long. Just talk about the game and do stuff. Sing a song.
I'm not good. Okay. I was just playing through some random sorry, I had to tune down the volume because that was really one of my favorite chapters from the fanfiction. I'm gonna wait for it to get to chapter 8. Chapter 8 is amazing.
Get ready. Get ready. Can't escape from crossing fate. Fight!
I will fulfill than I thought. Maybe you'd be more entertaining. なあ、弱いってどんな気持ちだ？教えてくれよ。あいにくと俺には一生わからねえみたいでな。
Get ready. Get ready.
Yeah, boo.
Just don't die.
Boom! Kapow! Wham! Let's get him! Can't escape from crossing fate. Fight!
Let's go.
Come on.
Alright, hello. Oh wait, I just realized, have you played as Blake and Weiss? Weiss and Blake?
No, I played as Ruby and Yang.
Ah.
Damn it.
But alright, I'm gonna read the I'm gonna read this this last chapter, and then honestly, watching you play this has made me really want to play it. So, you want to do a few matches?
Yeah, after. You can do that.
All right, let's read this last chapter. Jotaro! Dio stay in the world gives him the ability to control time! Once more, the world!
Can't escape from crossing fate. Fight!
Chapter 6 Trouble Brews in the Catacombs of Pleasure. Personally, I'm more of a fan of dungeons, but it is what it is. Sorry for the wait. Here's some more bullshit. This isn't my car. Trunk? Crow observed after he figured out how to open his eyes again. In drunken stupor, he had awoken from was matched only by the drunken stupor he found himself in now. He had taken a wrong turn whilst stumbling through the vaults under Beacon. It certainly seemed so, as the abundance of ambient skeletal corpses indicated. The pleasure catacombs, huh? Snarled the somehow still employed teacher. It is he. Don't you mean him?
Find the phantom.
We mean what an effing want.
Get ready.
Well, what is in fact a thing? Crow mused. I also don't know why Crow sounds like my parody of an edgy rival character in anime, but I'm doing it anyway.
Suddenly I feel the urge to set this whole place ablaze.
I will eliminate any man or beast.
The being in front of him was a single withering mass of skeletal enormity. Copy and pasted skeletons clamoring on top of each other, seeking release from the rage that bound them to this world. This world which held no place for them, as they had discovered heart-wrenching. Each other had awoken long dead, flesh rotted from their bones. Some found their dearest loved ones already perished, a few from suicide brought on by the now skeletons passing. Others still found the remnants of their old lives, carrying on, and as such were rewarded with those closest to them screaming and running in terror for the monster they would never recognize. Being Bone Bro is suffering. Crow knew what he must do. Silently, he unsheathed his guitar and looked on at those forgotten souls, seeing quite a bit of himself in them. Lost is the nature of cool adult characters, and he knew as such more than anyone. Letting loose a solemn power bald. It says bald. This drunkard wished nothing more than to help these vessels of rage and tears sleep. Sleep, friends. We will not. This congregation of restless souls spoke in unison. Oh, I should have done that in unison. My bad. We will not. as all skulls turned towards Crow. The legends of Bonesmen legions of Bonesmen split apart into an extent as great appendages for linked human arms cascaded around Crow. Skeletal streams of thousands of corpses linked like human towers numbering in the dozens began to descend.
Win!
One, then another, crashed within feet of Crow, kicking up his tattered cape. He shifted to his side and looked upwards at the core of this beast, and felt thankful that at the very least he still had a few crazy kids to keep him in line. An arm crashed where he once stood and... what? Oh, and exploded into bone and stone shards. Crow sat crouched 50 feet along the length of the arm. He dug his guitar's blade near his foot and sprinted. He raced along the length of these desperate limbs, slashed once at the creature's supposed head before landing on a lonely pillar far behind the beast. Its split arm reforming into two noticeably weaker versions, he saw he had a choice to make in regards to fighting a foe centered on quality or quantity. All at once, its shambling extremities crashed into his position from all sides, destroying the pillar where he had stood. It was then the creature noticed him standing... Wait, what? Oh. It was then the creature noticed him standing atop another pillar on the other side of the great cavern. He finished drinking from his flask and wiped the drops of liquor which he had snacked its way into his which had sneaked its way into his stubble. With the sleeve of his shirt, this all seemed familiar to him. The scraps of cloth that clung to every I'm gonna assume this is supposed to be 12th or so skeleton screamed of some prior affliction. The mass of hatred adopted humanoid shape and dislocated all withering extra limbs to the areas of the back. This thing arched backwards, knees bending as its wayward limbs grasped for the ceiling. From the small of its back, it let out a screech, 3 parts animal screeching and 2 parts unknowable sorrow. And Crow finally acknowledged these things as no longer human. Crow began once more to play his guitar, his hair and cape flowing backwards in the wind, generated by the air pressure difference his guitar was creating. The creature attempted an attack, yet Crow slid forward on his knees. Off the pillar, he just sort of floated there. His guitar raised in an unearthly solo generated a vacuum feel of the metal, acting as a barrier between him and his skeleton adversaries. He let loose his metal and condensed it. He let loose his metal and condensed it around his blade. Standing now on the empty air before the body of his prey, dragging his blade behind him, managing to grind it on air, he rushed forward now, placing both hands on his weapon. Kishin Hunter! What the frick? Oh, oops, I missed comments, I'm sorry.
Oh, what a shame. Seems I've overestimated you.
Carmine! 9! Win!
What the heck?
What?
Oh, they're asking about the game. I was like, what? Sadly, no PBS Kids characters in a BB tag.
Stay back, alright, I'll train with you.
Personally, I want the PBS Kids Fate to include Bob Ross, Ord from Dragon Tales, and the bunny rabbit from Arthur.
Buster?
I don't know his friggin' name. He's a rabbit.
Buster.
Yeah, that guy.
How about that rat teacher guy? I forgot his name.
I don't friggin' know. I didn't watch Arthur. I watched Dragon Tales, and I know who Bob Ross is because I watch his painting things on YouTube because they're relaxing. And I'm sure there's something else owned by PBS Kids that I know that I just can't think of the name of. Okay, Mr. Ratburner's his name, apparently. Okay,
Yeah,
the creature was engulfed in a field of imperishable light that spread this being's ashes across the atmosphere
there needs to be
to settle across the graves and homes of their once beloved families and friends.
Escape from crossing fate. Fight!
Now then.
Friends. Ask me about the Arthur characters or other PBS Kids characters or shows. Okay, what PBS characters would you include? Because I genuinely only know the only ones I remember Dragon Tales because that show was great. Loved it as a child, and I know who Bob Ross is. Oh wait, was Mr. Rogers on PBS? I know him. You could put Mr. Rogers into this game. Okay, I'm just gonna assume he was, but yeah, who would you include from PBS Kids, of all things? You can do 13, because that's my lucky number.
Yep, you can add Roger.
Carmine! 9! Win!
How about jeez.
Get
Crap.
ready. Get ready!
You can add some Cyber Chase characters in there.
Cyber Chase? What's that? I don't know what Cyber Chase is.
It was my freaking childhood.
Unless you mean Scooby-Doo in the Cyber Chase, I know what that is.
Suddenly I feel the urge to set this whole place
Yeah,
ablaze.
World Girl too.
I don't know who World Girl is. Okay, like, say the character and give like a brief description, because I don't know who these people are. Oh wait, first, at last, a voice was heard. The Salvation Army may rest. Well, they're coming home now, he sighed as the dust and ash settled, both on the battlefield and on the remains of their former lives. You did it, Whiskey Chan whispered, embracing him from behind. I know, he said as he drank the sentimental whiskey. Okay, what do we got? Yeah, he is World Girl. Okay. But yeah, who else would you include? Like I said, my vote goes to the Dragon Tales characters and Bob Ross because I know who they are.
Like,
I know, he said as he drank the. Okay, read that. Hey, Crow Bro, called Ozpin softly. Oh, hi, Ozpin!
damn you.
Oh, hi, Ozzy. And you too, Penny.
Ah! Gotcha.
You really thought you could stop?
So they finally rest.
Wow, that's
Yep. Oh wait, I didn't do my Kaiba voice for Crow. Yes, Pharaoh. So Ozpin, as it turns out, I might have kept them here to seal away an ancient evil. Shit, Pharaoh. Indeed. It was then that a great inferno emerged from the back of the catacombs of pleasure, as countless jetpack-wearing skeletons in Spanish armor fled through the hole Crow had made. Well, that was going to require Glinda to fix. Well, it looks like you've unleashed the carnage conquistadors. They are a legion of 666 Spanish warrior skeletons with jetpacks and motorcycles. As long as we hold fast to hope, we will be ready, expressed Penny. You're right, Penny, Crow said. Oh, you're right, Penny. As he looked into the distance, what he saw was the likeness of Ruby and Yang formed by the perfectly positioned bodies of the fallen students who were not likely to survive this as long as we have Hoop.
I'm dying for you to read the disclaimer from chapter 8.
Well, that we're not even on chapter 7, dude. The next chapter is chapter 7.
Can't escape from crossing
Oh, yeah.
Okay, chapter 7 is like 2 sentences. I'll read chapter 7. Fine.
I know.
Chapter 7. These chapters are too short. Can we get ice cream now? Asked Penny. Yes, Pharaoh, said. Oh, oops. Yes, said Ozpin. Okay, now I'll read the title for chapter 8, and I'll also read the disclaimer, and that'll be all for this stream on the fanfic readings, because we've read, we've read 4 chapters, I think, this one. Chapter 8. Why is Bird... Why is Bird? Are we who is? Will us do who us am really? Disclaimer. You guys are great.
Get ready.
That is, to be honest with you, chapter 8 is by all my most favorite chapter in the fanfiction.
Fine. I'll read it.
Oh dear.
But first I want to read this, PBS Fate character list. Okay, what do we got? We got World Girl. I don't know who that is.
One of the
Arthur,
Crab Brothers?
I know who Arthur is. Peg, I don't know who that is. Plus Cat. Dot. Luna. One of the Krat brothers. I don't know who they are. Yo, Curious George. I remember him. Sid the Science Kid. Oh yeah! Org, my man. Yeah, Org's gonna kick some freaking ass. Maya and Miguel tag character. Yeah, Org is my man. Or Org would be added to my main list. Right up there with Nine the Phantom and Mai Natsume and Orie and Grow and Seth.
Just getting started.
And Yang and Blake
9.
and Ruby.
Win. Get ready.
Okay. So I will read this chapter, and then I want to fight you in a fooder game.
Okay.
Stay back.
We can either do BlazBlue cross tag or whatever you want to do. Doesn't really matter to me. Okay. A sunny haze obscured the visions of the figure. Marching through the sandstorm, the amount of blowing sand somehow managed to allow a surprising vestige of light through. It was a vestige nonetheless. Through bright, it was still dark within that whirling monsoon of earth. When compared to the death-bringing heat of the desert sun outside, it seemed that this occurrence may have been a blessing in disguise. The lone figure took a drink from his 12-gallon shot glass of gasoline to get the taste of sand out of his mouth. Oh, wait. What other fight? Oh, I have Tekken 7, Soul Calibur 6, BlazBlue Cross Tag Baturda, BlazBlue Central Fiction. I also have BlazBlue Chrono Phantasma Extended on here. I have Street Fighter 5, Fighting EX Lair. I have Chaos Kodo, Under Night Inbirth EX Latest, Guilty Gear Xrd Rev 2. That's on the PS4. Do I have another one? Oh, I did buy each Mortal Kombat game of this generation just so I could yell about it. I have Injustice 1 and 2.
Ooh, I like
I have... Oh... I have another fighting... I already said fighting game, sorry. I have Skullgirls. I have...
my most favorite. I also like BlazBlue Cross Tag.
I swear... Oh, I have
JoJo
Dead or
game.
Alive 5 and 6.
Get ready.
And I have Dragon Ball Fighters.
I never had that.
I have the JoJo's Bizarre Adventure All-Star Battle on PS3. I don't have the one for PS4. I think it's called Eyes of Heaven.
It is called Eyes of Heaven, and I don't
Yeah, I
have
don't-
it either.
I don't have that. I don't have that one, but I have All-Star Battle.
And I think we played it before, for both of us. I
Yes,
think
we
that was
did.
the game.
Yeah, you played it at my house. I got it on the PS3. Also on the PS3, I have Tekken Tag Tournament 2, Soul Calibur 4, Soul Calibur 5, Soul Calibur 2
Injustice
HD
1.
Online. I have Injustice 1. I have Soul Calibur 2 HD Online, Street Fighter 3 Third Strike, Street Fighter 4. Oh, I also have Ultra Street Fighter 4 on the PS4. I have Ultimate Marvel vs. Capcom 3, Street Fighter X Tekken, and Marvel vs. Capcom Infinite.
I
Oh,
like Marvel vs.
and
Capcom 3.
and I have Persona 4 Arena Ultimax. I feel like I'm missing. Oh, I also have the original Fighting EX Layer, Blaze Blue Continuum Shift Extended, Guilty Gear 3, Guilty Gear Sencor Plus, Tekken 1, Tekken 2, Tekken 5 Dark Resurrection, Darkstalkers 3, Darkstalkers The Night Warriors, Darkstalkers Resurrection, and I have PlayStation All-Stars Battle Royale.
God, quit blocking Weiss. Yeah.
I like fighting games. I probably should have just led with that. Oh, I also have Dengeki Bunko Fighting Climax and Aqua Plaza.
Can't escape from crossing fate. Fight!
See a moveset, demons,
Ah!
the characters.
That's gotta be it.
I could do that. My only problem is I don't have a capture card anymore, so like I mean, I could easily do it with my phone, but I need to get a new capture card.
It's over.
But yeah, I'd like to do stuff like that with there's actually a ton of games I have on the my PS3 and my Xbox 360 that I'd like to play from my YouTube channel. Both fighting games and action games. I'm actually currently doing a run through of Devil May Cry 3 on Dante Must Die with no upgrades because I was challenged to do that by my jerk friend. Oh, I'll be back in 1 minute.
Alright. Mm.
Carmine. Ruby Rose. Kanji Tatsumi.
Uh-oh.
Get ready.
What's wrong? You giving up?
Trying to run? Trying to run?
What's wrong? You giving up?
Trying to run? Trying to run?
Alright, let's see here. Okay, let's see here.
I live, and soon the world shall suffer. Boy. Okay. Oh god. A break in the sand allowed the lone figure a glimpse of a settlement in the distance. Groaning, impotent, lonesome, the traveler pulled from his wallet a plain whistle, and in blowing summoned a custom Harley Davidson motorcycle from the edges of the mesosphere, climbing onto his vehicle, which was out of gas. He wheeled it to move. The sun began to recede back to its astral lair over the horizon as he finally found a road amongst the dusty wastes, determined to finish his quest. Through knowing this was but the beginning, he drove onward. Parking his motorcycle on the roof of a nearby space station, the traveler leaped back to Earth, landing directly in front of the previously mentioned city. He waltzed into a nearby bar and struck up a casual conversation with a nearby explosion, but it was after sharing but 3 shots of gasoline with his friendly detonation that a group of hooded telekinetics entered the establishment. Quiet whispers were passed as each drew gold-plated Barrett M82 anti-military rifles modded with an automatic fire function. Chosen hero of all our lords, shall not suffer you to live. Shouted cultist number 1 as he began firing towards the cloaked wanderer, yet missing and hitting his drinking partner in the head. The sentient explosion fell to the ground and was caught in the embrace of his friend. Please, my friend, you look sad. Here, have a drink, he said, pouring gasoline onto himself and setting fire to the building. No! The cultist shouted as the cloak was burned off. The muscular frame of the wanderer revealed the legend underneath. My rage is equal only by my hunger for or something. Michichichacha, shouted this hero in righteous fury. The cultists shot with their anti-tank weaponry, but unfortunately for them, Garfield wasn't. Oh, lasagna! I'm stupid. I'm stupid, I'm sorry.
Hey,
Garfield wasn't wearing any tanks, just a rugged tank top and 2 gold lasagna chains. Was he rolling down the streets? So nothing on his mind but his money, and his money on his mind. Drawing his gold-plated desert eagle and leaping to the side, Garfield shouted, okay, what's a voice for Garfield? I already did Virgil. I did Kaiba. What? Give me a voice I can do for Garfield. He needs a voice.
No, I do not want to ruin your throat again.
Eat justice, you rascally vermin! As he opened fire, his bullets of lawfulness tearing his foes apart, he exclaimed, "My vengeance shall be complete, and my belly filled! My name is Cool Cat!" The sounds of gunfire opened up behind him, and on reflex he began swatting with his gun to the side, successfully blocking incoming strikes of gunfire from 3 adjacent helicopters, throwing his semi-automatic like a boomerang. He downed one target, and while sprinting towards it, predicted crash site, caught his returning weapon, grasping hold of the helicopter. Right before it crashed, he aimed and shucked it towards towards its fellows. They dodged just in the nick of time, just as Garfield planned. With the pilots distracted, Garfield had enough time to evacuate all nearby citizens to Chicago, this being amazing as this city is located somewhere in Australia. The helicopters turned just in time to witness the moments before Garfield, with precision equal to the hopes and dreams of everyone on Earth, would snipe their lives to an end. Oh, Garfield. What? Raiden? Okay, wait, which Raiden is this? Is this supposed to be Raiden as in Raiden from Metal Gear, or Raiden as in Raiden from Mortal Kombat?
It's Raiden.
So this is Raiden from Metal Gear?
It's part Metal Gear.
Oh, Garfield, cowed Raiden, who looked onwards. Please train me. No, little katana baby, for there are virgins to bed, justice to be delivered, and lasagnas to get eaten. Garfield exclaimed, and besides, I could never endanger such an innocent. I hunt the deadliest prey of all. Though it is the deadliest, only for Garfield is not prey, but predator. Raiden was intrigued. Nazi vampires. Before the lust-inducing mechanism of Garfield, Nazi vampires are just babies. No, Oops, I should have been reading this in Cool Cat voice. I'm sorry. No! For before the lust-inducing mechanism of Garfield, Nazi vampires are as babies. No, I hunt a beast far greater. Overly flamboyant, eldritch abominations. I'm sorry. I would be such a burden. Apologized Raiden. Worry not, for though I shall not take you with me, I shall allow a piece of my legacy to you, Garfield said as he embraced Raiden's wife in sexual embrace. Thank you, Garfield, cheered Raiden enthusiastically. It is of no consequence. Goodbye, O true hero. And like that, Garfield traveled onwards towards his destiny, the destiny he would create with his prey's corpse. I will find you, Barry Bamboozle, and I will give you my lasagna scented justice, promised the traveling legend as he passed a group of diverse bikers, my bad, of diverse bikers led by a rather aged gentleman. Okay. And now I'll read the chapter title of the title for chapter 9. Inferno of Termination, Terminal Execution, Battle of the Extremism, Soldier of Extermination, Vendetta of Assassination, Maximum Domination, Triple Blood, Double Retribution, Fatal Overkill, Infinite Death. The movie, directed by Michael Bay. That was certainly extreme. All right, so I guess that's the end of this stream here. Peace out, shit roosters.